Grigor, thanks very much for joining us on wearetennis.com. I want to start by asking you, what would you like people to know about you?
About me?
Yeah.
I always leave that to the fans. I always keep my social media as updated as possible, and every time I feel that they want to know something, and everyone is pretty freely to ask. But out of the top of my head, I cannot think of anything right now. But
looking back on this year, how would you describe the way things have gone this year?
Yeah, it's been a rocky year for me. I've been struggling a little bit with my game, obviously, to find it and to sort of find the right balance between playing good and having a solid base on a bad days. I think this is one of the things, and obviously the confidence has gone down a little bit. A little bit insecure in your shots, but this is something that I don't shy away. I see it, and I'm working on it. Obviously, there's quite a few tournaments to the end of the year, so I'm just gonna try to do my best. Stay focused, stay healthy is pretty much the most important thing before you head out to the off season. And let's end up everything in a good way. I mean, there's still 5 tournaments to play. Anything can happen with the right attitude and the right amount of work. I believe I can do good things to the end.
In 2014 was, even though you had been around a couple of years, but 2014 was really like the breakout year for you. So do you think also the pressure of having to reproduce those results came into effect this year?
The thing is, I wouldn't call it breakthrough year. Yeah, my results were better. I absolutely agree, but I think that was the result of the years that I was on the tour already, and I think the experience that I got from that, and of course I had at the time I had a good people around me to sort of help me out and obviously reach to the next level. Now that I've done certain mistakes, I think the way I've been practicing, or the way that I've been doing certain things, that's entirely different different conversation, but. It's never easy, especially when you have a year like that.
Yeah.
Of course, to reproduce the same tennis is pretty hard, considering that you have the top 100 players that are playing an unbelievable tennis, and everyone can beat anyone. So that's the one thing that you always got to be aware of. But in the same time, it's not that I've been losing first round also every week. I've been just struggling to get through the certain rounds. And if I look back the past couple of weeks, on 3 of my matches I had match points, and I was serving for one of the matches, so it's just a pretty small margin. But I believe that I'm gonna sort of pass through that spell, and get to get to my level again.
So do you think it also there's a bit of a factor of you're pushing too much to just take that extra step to close out those match points and all that?
Not that. I think I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm very hard on myself, and sometimes even though I practice good, I always feel that it's not good enough. And I think that comes from let's say the year that I had before, as you mentioned, 2014. I played over 50 matches, so I didn't have that much time to practice. So all of a sudden, I find myself practicing a lot, and I don't realize that. So to find that balance, I think it's also very important, and that's why I'm trying to structure the best possible team for me, the right people around me, and go from there. Tennis is not a sprint, I would say.
Right.
It's a marathon. So, and I still feel like I have time in my hands. So this is something that I definitely feel that also I need to embrace. That I need to sit back and say, okay, well, you did this good, you did this bad. So to find the right balance, I think it's just going to take a little bit of time, but I think once you do that, everything
should fall into place.
Yeah.
You just mentioned team. I mean, this year you've made changes in your professional and your personal life, and how tough has it been for you to come to terms with that and adjust everything around those sort of aspects?
Yeah. I think a lot of things, especially when it comes to the team, which is off the court and of course personal level, there's nothing after that is the same. and I think it's pretty obvious, and I think everyone knows that, everyone feels that. I think once in a lifetime, I'm sure everyone goes through a period like that, and to have something for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden just the whole rhythm, the whole concept of what you have been doing, it's has changed. So of course, you try to find a new rhythm, new routines, and sort of make a new life on your own.
I guess also it's a case of you're doing it in the public eye. I mean, you and Maria were a high-profile couple. Mm-hmm. Roger Rashid always wanted to have himself in front as well, so he was high-profile in another way. But to also adjust to not doing it in the public eye must be added pressure or frustration.
You're always going to have. I'm used to that by now, and I think you're always going to have people that are always going to talk and judge and write about, and of course, that's fair enough. I'm no one to judge that. I just like to say that I think it's when you don't know what's inside, it's just I don't like when people are talking about anything when it comes to that, whether it's going to be Maria, whether it's going to be Roger. It's something that, I mean, I think only, for example, all three of us knows about everything, and whatever thing happened, it's not, I don't think it's also in anyone's business.
Right,
in a way.
exactly.
And all the speculations and everything comes back at you. So whether I want to hear it or not, that I can't really avoid that.
And yet, your demeanor on and off the court attracts a lot of respect. Where did that come from? Was it the upbringing, your childhood, your parents, your family, the way you conduct yourself?
I think definitely my family, my mom and dad has been always the people that I've always looked up to. Even though I left the country when I was really young, they kept always a close eye on me, and I think they gave me the biggest values in life. To me, they're the people that own everything. And again, I like to say also one thing is a lot of people don't realize, but tennis is only one stage of your life,
right?
And maybe I'll win, maybe I'll lose, and I think in that particular moment right now, I cannot really judge myself, and I can just push forward and strive to do the best I can. If I had a funny question actually recently, it's like, are you gonna win a slam? Well, I mean, listen, I would love to.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
If I don't win slam, I don't win slam. Life goes on, and at some point, I think the real life begins at some point. Right now I'm living my dream, and I'm writing my my passion, and I think I can do that a certain amount of time, and then when I reach a certain age, I mean, I'll just say goodbye to it.
What do you want to achieve? I'm not going to say, are you going to win a slam?
Thanks. That's why I was preventing that.
Well, what do you want to achieve?
Well, honestly, I'd say when I first entered into top 10, obviously my goals were way higher, and I was already aiming for the top 5, and I was already thinking about those slams. Right now, I won't say I'm far away, but it's just I need to climb my way back into that area before I actually start thinking about anything bigger. That's I think pretty much the focus right now for me, and in the end of my career, I think I just want to look back, and I think the one thing I want to say to myself is that I just don't want to have regrets. I think this is the one thing that, I'm sure I'm going to have missed opportunities, missed matches, match points.
But that's life also.
That's life, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So win and lose, and it's a bit of a gamble sometimes when you get on the court at certain points. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And I think if not, then I can just look back and say, well, I have that amount of slams, so that's nice.
I'm just wondering if you were reading my notes, because one of my questions, you just said about living a dream, and my last question to you is, what is the best part of your job? Or is it a job?
I was just about to say, I think when I enter into my 20s, early 20s, again, I'm still the early 20s, but I think it was 1920. I think it was a tournament that really changed, I think, everything for me. I think it was on the challenger level, and I was just traveling to all those places. You know, I went to like a couple of times to Bangkok and all those places, for example, and I always felt that, you know, I'm like, oh, I gotta go there, I gotta go there. And then at some point I'm like, I don't have to go there. This is what I like doing. And I think this was a moment in my life that I just looked back and I was like, I don't have this as a work anymore. It became my dream, my passion, my love. And of course a lot of frustration comes with it,
Right.
but I mean, in which relationship it doesn't?
Grigor, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.